All right, I'm very, very busy right now. In fact, I had some guy, I did a radio install for like 2 years ago, and he's like, something happened to it yesterday. And I'm like, okay, well, troubleshoot. And then he felt like I owed him. He's like, I thought you had a lifetime warranty. And I go, I do against defects, right? But nothing I did, you know, it's a fake promise, just so you know. Because if it's a defect, then that's fine. I'll change it. But typically it's not a defect. Typically it's someone fucked with something. Somebody did something. Something else went wrong. And that's why I'm not afraid to give a 3-year warranty. Now, if it's a real defect, I'm fine with that. And you know, in the past, I've built some shitty woofers sometimes. You are correct. But I still stand behind them. And even in 2005, when I built a bunch of Hard Times woofers from the closeout from TC Sounds, it was a bunch of TC7 motors. A lot of those customers are still like, I don't know what everybody's complaining about. Patrick's woofers still rock. I'm like, I don't do anything unique. I just do it cheaper. That's all. So, but speaking of cheaper, we got these in. They're from Arcam, which is, I guess, a high-end. They retail for about $450 American. And I got them up for $120 on Facebook if you guys are interested. They're 4 ohm. They're great little either studio monitors or some sort of, audio editing monitor, whatever. It's funny. It's like they're just speakers. But all of a sudden, if they look pretty, they become studio monitors. It's the dumbest thing in the world. There's no difference between a studio monitor and a hi-fi loudspeaker. That's it. There's no difference. So there's also no difference between like a home theater subwoofer and a car audio woofer. It just has to do with impedance and the amplifier that you have running it. That's it. Otherwise, there's no difference. But, all of a sudden, like a Kicker Comp 15, right? Or even I like the Kicker Comp Rs from Kicker. In fact, I'm redoing about 4 of them right now. And in home theater, that's a replacement part of like $450. Yeah, on a $1,000 subwoofer or $2,000 subwoofer. But in car audio, it's like a fucking cheap piece of shit that Kicker made for $10. So be aware of performance. I was also getting into some internet fights about, there's this Facebook forum called, what was it called? DIY Loudspeaker Locker Room, right? Which sounds like a bunch of guys chatting in a locker room, whatever, looking at each other's dicks, whatever, that's fine. And talking about loudspeakers. Well, come to find out, it's a bunch of pompous nerds who think they know what the fuck they're talking about as far as, a bunch of specs that don't matter. And I found out they're fans of John's, which is AE speakers. AE speakers doesn't do anything unique, nothing. It's pretty, and it's not even custom tooled or anything like that. And he probably builds the drivers himself, and he has a nice looking website. But other than that, he doesn't do anything fucking special. But I don't know. He's got some people fooled, and he makes pretty good sales or whatever. He's got fans, and I'm like, okay, good. I'm surprised when I have fans because I basically tell everybody to fuck off. So, but it's whatever. I love you guys, but it's like when you, it's like when like you're helping someone move, and you accidentally break a mirror. And then somebody's fucking auntie comes out and is like, oh, 7 years bad luck, mijo. You're like, shut the fuck up. There's no such thing. Stop it. There's no ghosts. There's only auto sound and security. June of 1995. Ooh, glory days. I don't know. I think, what was his name? Eric. Who was it? I forgot. Those remind me of the Hollywood Sound Labs, but that is Pure American from Miami Soundworks, which again is probably just made by Eminence, and then the marketing company or where the guy lives out there. You know what's great is sometimes when you look up these addresses, it's like some dude's house. I remember one time I was looking for Morel speaker parts replacements, and they said that there was a distributor here in Mesa. I was like, wow, I don't remember seeing any distributor warehouse or anything like. It was some dude's house. That's it. And he was wanting top notch, and I went over there and talked to him, and he was doing an install for somebody, and I was like, okay. So, again, these are mostly just eccentric people working from home is what most of audio really is. So, but when you set up a picture like this, it makes you look like you got your shit together, right? It's a fucking gold-plated alternator, right? That's what everybody needs. Oh my God. Unfair advantage, audio control. For audio control, for a lot of years, they had a lot of, alternator wine and a lot of their stuff. Hot setup, is this hot setup? What is this? Double bass, Paramount. Looks like hot setup to me for the second. So, double bass loudspeakers. Nothing hits harder. I don't know, my dick's pretty hard. XTR from some country guy. What do you listen to? I listen to XTR. That's Tom Haverson. Where is it? They use the weird font, so I can't tell what he says. Stud? He's a stud? Dancing stud. Creepy dancing stud? Maybe. The Extreme 4S, 5S mid-range tweeter systems, blah, blah, blah. Which is, all it was the ADS rebadged. So that's all it was. The ADS, because they owned both brands. So, and then there's the Orion NT. So, and a lot of these speakers were just marketed different. Like the NT was supposed to be for the nerds, and you saw that in the little cartoon book, which I still have. It's a comic book that they came out with. And what's funny is they made the sexiest one, the Cobalt, which is the turd of the bunch. And what's funny is it's not really a turd. It's a great amplifier. It's an Orion XTR amplifier. It's just in a blue heatsink. That's it. There's Bass Mechanic. The Bass Mechanic, Techmaster, PEB. These guys made a lot of money. Talk about no overhead. In fact, I think Bass Mechanic actually came out with a series of subwoofers, which was a great score for them. Jensen, great amplifiers, just ugly. Who is this? ADS. They made a bunch of stuff in this stamped steel box. I got a whole bunch of crossovers. If somebody wants to take them all, be my guest. I'm not into that shit anymore. There you go. Again, if you build it, they will buy it. That is the PPI crossover. FR6 456, I think it was called. Yep, 456. Whatever. It's just cool looking. Acoustic Design Group. Well, Sherry's got a doctor's appointment that I got to get to, so maybe I got to skip through this pretty quick. Or even cut it short. I mean, this really is a gratuitous video, meaning it's not necessary. Just sort of, oh, there we go. That's a good number one in Iasca, precision power. One of the best things that they had from that era was a 1% failure rate. That's what was really impressive by those guys. But that was just because they tested everything. There's Wayne with his mullet. So, but, oh. Dogs are going nuts. I'm going to go ahead and cut this short. I love you guys. I will talk to you soon.